He used my credit card to buy jewelry. I thought it was for our anniversary, until I found the receipt in his jacket with a gift tag that read, "To my real love." I followed him that day, watched him hand it to my younger cousin in her car. When he got home, I was gone. So was every piece of furniture, his belongings, and the $8,000 from our joint account, which I used to send her parents a wedding invitation that never happened. I'm 38. I've worked in a hospital in Corpus Christi, Texas for over 10 years now. Respiratory therapist. Long shifts, heavy hours. I come home tired most nights, but I always believed in working for your peace. I thought I had that peace with Travis. We met when I was already past the age where I believed in fairy tales. I had just gotten out of a nasty 2-year relationship with a guy who never held a job, cheated twice, and somehow made me feel like I was the problem. So when Travis came into the picture, older, steady voice, strong handshake, talked about stocks and business trips, I let myself believe it was a second chance. He moved in 6 months in. We married the next spring. A small wedding in my aunt's backyard. My brother grilled ribs, we drank from mason jars, and I paid for the photographer out of pocket. I thought we were building a life. What I didn't realize was, I was the only one building. For the first year or so, things felt normal. I paid most of the bills. I assumed he was in between jobs. He had this vague story about private clients, and I didn't push. Maybe I should have. Maybe that was the red flag I chose to ignore. But the real gut punch came 3 weeks before our anniversary. It was raining that Thursday, and the hospital was short-staffed. I came home late, soaked, hungry, and cranky. Travis wasn't there, said he was out meeting a lead. I decided to change into dry clothes and hunt for the spare phone charger he kept in the guest room dresser. That's when I saw the Nordstrom bag. My first thought? He remembered. Our anniversary was around the corner, and we hadn't done anything special last year. Maybe he was planning something big. I was so stupidly excited. Inside was a black velvet box. The necklace was beautiful. Platinum, small diamonds twisted around in a loop, and green stones along the edge. I actually said, "Wow," out loud. I was halfway to crying when I noticed the receipt. $2,340. Charged to my Visa. Now, we had agreed he'd only use that card for real emergencies. We weren't rich, and I'd been trying to pay it down. But still, I thought, okay, maybe he wanted it to be a surprise. Maybe he planned to pay me back. Then I saw the little white gift tag stuffed in the bottom of the bag. It said, "To my real love, always yours, T." I stood there for 5 full minutes holding that receipt in one hand and the tag in the other. My body went cold. My chest tight. I just kept reading it over and over again. Real love. Like I wasn't it. That phrase wouldn't leave me alone. Later that night, I checked his jacket hanging in the closet. He's the kind of guy who leaves receipts in every pocket. Sure enough, there was one from a Shell gas station. Timestamped 8:27 a.m. that same day. I Googled the address. It was on the corner of Weber Road and Holly, right near where my cousin Riley works. Riley is 24. Blonde. Peppy. Kind of shallow, but harmless, or so I thought. She came to our wedding in a white sundress, got drunk, and danced with my father-in-law like it was her big day. Travis had called her a little much. I agreed. But she was family. I wasn't sure yet. I just had a gut feeling. A very ugly one. The next day, I pretended to go to work. Instead, I parked my car 3 blocks from a small shopping center where Riley usually stops for lunch. I waited. At exactly 1:14 p.m., I saw Travis's gray Altima pull in. He was wearing his navy hoodie and jeans. He got out holding the Nordstrom bag. Then a white Jeep with pink bumper stickers pulled in right next to him. It was Riley. I watched him lean into her car window. Hand her the bag. She opened it. Laughed. Kissed him. That was all I needed. I didn't cry. I drove home. My hands were shaking, but I knew exactly what to do. First, I called my brother Mark. He owns a moving company. Told him I needed a crew. No questions asked. He said he'd be there in an hour. Then I called the bank. Our joint account had $11,000 in it. I transferred $8,000 into my personal checking account. I was still the primary. I left enough to not raise questions, at least not right away. By 5 p.m., my brother and 2 of his guys were clearing out the house. We packed every piece of furniture I had paid for: couch, bed, TV, dishes, even the curtains. His clothes, his electronics, the framed photos, gone. The only thing I left behind was our wedding album, face down on the carpet. I left the necklace box on the kitchen table. Inside, I placed the gift tag and a note: "Hope she's worth it." Then I hit the road. I didn't text. Didn't call. I drove straight to San Antonio, checked into a Marriott under my maiden name, and turned off my phone. But I wasn't done. Not by a long shot. The next morning, I got up early and went to the FedEx office downtown. I printed something that would make sure the truth spread fast. It was a fake wedding invitation. It looked real, white with gold trim, elegant font, RSVP link and all. It had their names in cursive: Travis James Peterson and Riley and Mathis request the honor of your presence at their wedding. June 24th, 2025, Corpus Christi, Texas. I sent it to everyone in my family. Every aunt, uncle, cousin. Her church friends. Her mom's coworkers. Even her dad's AA sponsor. I found addresses through old family emails, Facebook, and some nosy Googling. I spent the whole $8,000 on rush printing, overnight shipping, and a web RSVP page that did nothing but say, "You've been had." Then I waited. 3 days later, I got the first text from my Aunt Leslie, Riley's mom. "Is this some kind of joke?" I didn't reply. Then came a call from my cousin Sadie, screaming, "What the hell did you do?" I told her, "Ask Riley." That afternoon, Travis finally called. He must have come home to the empty house, the necklace box, the note. I let it ring. He called again and again. On the 5th try, I answered. "You crazy bitch," he said. "What did you do?" I didn't say a word. Just let him vent. "You stole my stuff, emptied our account, told your whole damn family I was marrying your cousin. Are you trying to ruin my life?" I said, "No. I'm letting you do that all by yourself." Click. The next week was chaos. Riley's parents showed up at her apartment screaming. She had no clue about the invitations until her mom waved one in her face. My family blew up our group chat. My uncle called Travis a predator and told everyone that if he showed up at the family reunion, he'd need a helmet. Riley denied everything. She said they were just friends. She said it was a misunderstanding. She said I must have made it up out of jealousy. But pictures don't lie. I posted the video I'd recorded from my car that day in the parking lot to a private Facebook group for the family. No caption. No rant. Just the 45 seconds of him handing her the bag and kissing her. Silence followed. Then my brother wrote, "You always were too damn soft. Glad you finally woke up." Her mom didn't take it well. I heard from Sadie later that Aunt Leslie kicked Riley out of the house and cut her off financially. Said she'd raised her better. I didn't feel good about it. Not exactly. But I didn't feel bad either. Then something unexpected happened. Travis's ex-wife messaged me. I hadn't even known he was married before. Her name was Lisa. She said she saw the wedding invitation post shared by someone on Facebook and decided to reach out. Her message said, "I saw what you did. You're not the first he's fooled, but you might be the last." We got coffee 2 days later. Lisa told me everything. Lisa and I met at a diner off Staple Street. She was mid-40s, wore no makeup, and walked like she was used to bad news. She ordered black coffee. No food. Just dove right in. "He does this to women," she said. "He picks ones that are too kind, too tired, too patient." I asked how long they were married. "For years." "He drained my savings." Opened a credit card in my name. Told me he'd invest it. I found out he'd been living a double life in Houston. Had another woman, even a kid. When I left, I didn't even take my dog. I just ran. I sat there quiet, taking it all in. It made sense now why he never wanted joint credit, why he avoided my questions about his clients, why he was always so paranoid about passwords and mail. She slid a manila envelope across the table. Inside were old court records, police reports, a restraining order. You should know, she said, he doesn't just cheat. He takes. She also gave me a name. Tasha Walker. Another woman from Austin. I reached out. Tasha answered my message within minutes. Said she'd been waiting for someone to say his name. He'd told her his name was James. Said he was a real estate consultant. She gave him $12,000 for a flipping project that never happened. When she asked about it, he ghosted her. Moved cities. My stomach turned. I wasn't just another wife. I was one of many. A week later, I drove back to Corpus. Parked 2 streets down from the house I used to call home. Watched from inside my rental car. Riley was there. They were still seeing each other. He hadn't lost her yet. But I wasn't done. Not with either of them. That night, I did something I knew could blow everything open. I sent a full report, complete with screenshots, video, statements from Lisa and Tasha, even the wedding invitation hoax, to a private investigator I found online. I wanted to know everything. Where he worked. What his real name was. If he had other bank accounts. The PI got back to me 5 days later. And what he told me turned my stomach inside out. The PI found that Travis wasn't his real name. His legal name was Trevor James Padilla. He'd changed it twice in the last 10 years. He had 3 different driver's licenses in 3 different states. No consistent work history. No certifications. No real consulting company. Just a trail of bank accounts, eviction notices, and court cases, some settled, some pending, most under different names. But the worst part? He was already married. To a woman in Oklahoma named Jenna. Still legally married. Still active. Still married while he proposed to me, married me, and played house with my cousin. It hit me like a punch to the gut. I hadn't just been betrayed. I had been conned. I reported him. To the police. To the credit bureau. To the Texas Attorney General's office. To Jenna in Oklahoma, who didn't even know he was missing. But I wasn't done. I printed out every piece of evidence, the fake names, the financial fraud, the wedding bigamy, the photos, my receipts, the video, and I mailed it all in a big thick envelope. To Riley's employer. She worked at a dentist's office. Small. Family-run. They fired her the next morning. A patient had recognized her from the video and complained. The clinic couldn't afford the bad press. She texted me once after that. Said I had ruined her life. I replied, good. A week later, I got served. Trevor, was suing me for theft. He claimed I had stolen his furniture, electronics, and money. Said I had committed defamation by sending out fake invitations and damaging his reputation. His lawyer was some budget guy out of San Antonio who clearly didn't know the full story. I lawyered up too. Used what was left in my savings. My lawyer took one look at the file I had. Complete with Lisa's testimony, the court documents, the bank records, Tasha's signed statement, and the marriage license with Jenna, and said, we're going to bury this guy. We filed a countersuit. For fraud, identity theft, financial abuse, and bigamy. And when we subpoenaed his accounts, turns out he had stashed over $20,000 in crypto using fake names. He had taken money from me, from Tasha, from Lisa, even from Jenna's savings account. All in small amounts over time. He was arrested. Jenna filed for divorce. Tasha sued him for damages. Lisa reopened her restraining order. And me? I won the countersuit. The court awarded me $42,000 in damages. Most of it was frozen in his seized accounts, but some came from his car and leftover property. Riley tried to make amends. She showed up crying at my door 6 months later. Said she didn't know. Said she was sorry. Said she was pregnant. I looked her in the face and said, I don't care. Then I shut the door. The house is quiet now. Empty in a different way, but honest. And I'd rather have nothing than share a lie. I won't say I healed. Not yet. Maybe never completely. But I will say this. If someone hands you a gift, check the tag. It might not have your name on it.